Oh, yeah, making a video. I think it's a making of kind of style video, so that's what I'll call it for the hell of it. But it's sort of about determinism, I think. It's an interesting subject. Just start rolling that one around. Um, yeah, so the movie idea I'll get to, I guess, later. I'll get to this first, this determinism bit. Just the idea of how it, just because of how evolution works, that we have basically inside of us a filter, an information filter created by acquiring information. And the more information the information filter has, the better it is at filtering information. The better it is at categorizing and contextualizing and associating things with the proper thing to associate them with. So our brain does this logic thing applied to this crude information to create more complex information. So it just keeps expanding the volume of information through this processing of information, which is sort of interesting that there's that we have become a filter. And that's basically what intelligence is just a kind of a filter. And, that we will, through the progression of time, filter into conclusions and pretty much become capable of predicting and describing the, realm or range of potential action, evaluate them in our filter, and it will decide our behavior in the end. We'll know right from wrong and make the appropriate adjustments to behavior. And so it's sort of interesting how that has come out of the chaos that appears to be the universe. But it's only come out of it because of this niche thing, this anti-common universe function that is, planets and stuff like that. It's the opposite of the entropy thing, and it doesn't break the laws of thermodynamics. It just is areas where the laws don't apply in the short term. They will apply in the long term, but in the short term, you can have more complexity. Anyway, so that's sort of interesting. So what it got me thinking about, though, was just a scenario in the brain when it comes to this choice thing. And, I was just thinking about, say if there was a soldier dying. Well, no, he's injured. And another soldier comes over to help him, finds him somewhere, laying on the side of a ditch somewhere. He shot a tank and blew it up, but he got injured, blah, blah, blah. So the guy shows up to help him, and the injured soldier explains, I've had this vision, and I know what's going to happen. And there's two scenarios. In 4 minutes, a certain event's going to take place. And if I, tell you what the event is, you won't be killed. But you will be killed 2 hours later. And you're going to die slower 2 hours later. Not horribly slower, but slower. This death in 4 minutes is going to be really quick. And I'm going to die, also in both scenarios. But, it's the reverse. Okay, if I change the event, then I die slower this time, and I die quickly in the next scenario. And we're going to just have a decision to make here about whether we choose to interrupt the pattern. If I interrupt the pattern, we go to plan B. If I don't interrupt the pattern, we're stuck with plan A, which is we both die now, blah, blah, blah. And so here they'd be stuck in this scenario where, well, the second soldier's got to say, you're full of shit. So in a sense, he's doomed to have to prove the scenario. So they're already going to make the choice of the second scenario because he's going to want to prove to this guy that what he's seeing is real. And so he tells him ahead of time, you know, some thing like, you know, pocket watch, Rolex or something. And not Rolex spelled wrong, or some kind of stupid thing like that. And so anyway, in 4 minutes, a soldier comes along, you know, an enemy soldier. He says, "Look out!" And so the guy who's helping him shoots the German guy before the German guy can shoot them, so they don't die. German guy dies. And then he says, "Go look in his pocket," and there's a Rolex watch with Rolex spelled or whatever. And so now the guy knows, holy fuck, this guy's like an oracle thing. You know, he's seeing choices. And so he's kind of glued to him, because now this guy's saying he's going to die in 2 hours. And so now he's going to want to know, you know, is there another choice? Is there a third option coming? Will they have another chance to make a decision? I just thought it'd be an interesting short story, long story. It could be an interesting story that you're only given one choice at a time. So as you go to each event, you have to make this decision based on what the next one will bring. And so the next choice might offer them a choice where they don't die. So they might take that choice, but then they get locked into a scenario where they'll never get a future choice that ever gets them a choice that isn't much worse, in terms of how they die. So that could be the irony, the ironic conclusion. So anyway, do some running. It's sort of a semi-lovely day. Thunder showers coming though. So says the radar anyway. It was kind of looked like it before, but it didn't happen. And so I can do some work and such. Feel a little ragged though, but I don't know. See how it goes. Anyway, I'll be back, probably on the way back and such. Till later if there's more.